2010. Logan, I want to thank you for agreeing to sit down with me. And what I'd like to do, like I said, is just go over your service and get some of your recollections about the war. So, before the Army, what were you doing for a living?
I was going to school. I graduated in high school on 1st of June, and
microphone problem. Microphone fell off. Let's try that again. Okay. Starting again. Now, you said you were in high school?
Yeah, I graduated from high school in 1st of June, and was drafted the 11th of September.
Okay. And so?
I was 18 in July.
Wow. Now, where did you attend boot camp? Do you remember?
Yeah, Camp Robinson, Arkansas.
Okay. Now, how did you find the transition from being a high school student to being a soldier in the Army?
Well, it's quite different.
Mm-hmm.
You had to do what they said and try to keep up with everything.
Mm-hmm. So any experiences stand out or anything that shocked you particularly?
Not too much, only they'd come around and inspect the barracks, you know. They'd fall us out and they'd say, get ready and we'll inspect. And I found out that they weren't doing that. So I'd lay down and go to sleep. And one day they was in the barracks next door, and the guys woke me up and said they're coming to inspect. So I jumped up and laid my rifle down on tightened the bed up, you know, and laid the rifle down on there, field stripped it. And the lieutenant come and he picked that rifle up and looked at it. And he said, "Bowling, did you clean this rifle?" I made a mistake saying yes, sir. And from then on, he just looked at me and grinned when he was inspecting officer. Say, "Take his name, Sergeant." So I had a lot of extra duty there.
Okay. Now, when did you join the 12th Armored? Was it at Barclay or was it at Campbell?
No, this was in France.
Hmm?
I went in as a replacement.
You went in as a replacement after the Battle of Herlisheim?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So your experience, apart from some of the other guys, was kind of different from the guys who went from Campbell to Barclay to Europe.
Right.
Had you been schooled, besides your basic training and infantry training, anything else to prepare you?
No schooling at all.
Okay.
Just, I think they cut our basic training short. I think it was either 13 or 14 weeks. That was all we had.
Mm-hmm. Now, how was your trip across the Atlantic? Were you on a troop ship or one of the liners that was converted?
No, I was on a troop ship.
Mm-hmm.
Wakefield, USS Wakefield.
And was that your first ocean voyage, or had you been
Oh,
before?
yeah. No, first time.
How did that stand out for you?
Well, it's different, you know, a young guy that way. You just go along with the flow, though.
Yep. Now, you said you joined the 12th when they were in France. Do you remember about when?
Sometime in February. I says it must have been the last part of February. I don't know exactly when.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you were in the infantry, C Company, the 17th.
Yeah.
So, tell me about your combat duty, what you would do on a daily basis.
Well, for a while we was traveling. When we went up trying to capture a bridge there in the last part of March, we went up with Patton, painted out all of our insignias and painted that stuff out on our tracks and stuff. Called us the Mystery Division. Mm-hmm. And we was trying to capture a bridge at Worms. And for a few days we was traveling day and night. But the Panzerfaust, the Iron Fist, you know, they'd dig it in right beside the road, and they fire right into our vehicles. And at night you didn't have a chance to get them, you know. In the daytime you'd ride with a guy on each side of the vehicle trying to spot them, you know, before they fired.
Yeah, and of course at night you can't do that.
Do what?
They say, of course, at night you can't do that.
No, you couldn't see them at night, right?
Good heavens. So, you said you joined after Herlesheim and you were participating in the race to the Rhine. After the crossing of the Rhine and the Danube, tell me, anything there stand out particularly in your memory? Any experiences or friendships you formed?
No, we wound up down the Alps down when we went back with the 7th Army. See, we was originally with the 7th Army. Then we went up with Patton and then come back to the 7th Army. And they blew up a road down there where we couldn't get our vehicles going down through the what's the name of that town? But anyway, we had to go in on foot, you know, and then they cleaned it out. And we wound up down next to, I can't think of the name of the town, in Austria there.
Well, I know a lot of infantrymen say that they, when they go through a town, they don't even recall the name of it because it wasn't their job to know. It's just a job to keep moving.
Yeah.
So after the war,
Innsbruck.
Innsbruck, Austria. Very good.
Well, that's where we wound up.
Mm-hmm. Now, after the war, how long did you stay in Europe? How long were you still in the Army after the war?
I stayed in Europe a short time. Stayed with the outfit a little while. And then they gathered the replacements up and sent us to Le Havre, waiting for a ship to come back. They was going to make a rocket battalion out of us and send us to Japan, or into the Pacific. And when we got to Le Havre, we had to wait. We stayed 20 days at Camp Lucky Strike and 10 days at Philip Morris. And when we got back to the States, the war was over with the next day after we got back to the States. We were getting on a train when they announced it to head for our basic post, you know, where we'd get our leave from. I was heading for Atterbury, Indiana here. And you could see them all night, people celebrating, you know.
Yeah. I'm talking about the push across Europe into the Rhine and then down to Innsbruck. Were you present for any of the liberations at Landsberg in the area? The Landsberg, the concentration camps?
No, I wasn't personally involved with any of them. Some of our outfit was, but I wasn't.
Okay, great. Now, anything else you'd like to bring up? People, places, things that remember, stories that stick out in your mind?
Well, one thing, we got a replacement in one day, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were stopping then at night, and the third squad had lost too many men. I was in the first squad before, and the third squad had lost 2, so they transferred me and DePaul into the third squad, and we, of course, stopping in at night, and we were in the room with Benny, and he talking to him, you know, and he said, I ain't gonna make it. And we said, well, the war's almost over, we know you'll make it. And he said, well, talk all you want, I ain't gonna make it. And the very next morning, we went out and went up on the side of a hill trying to pick up an anti-tank gun that was firing on our tanks down in the valley. And they made him first scout and I was second scout. And he stopped like here and me here and the squad leader here and the rest of the squad down there. And I was just up looking through a pair of binoculars trying to pick up that anti-tank gun. And one of A Company guys come by, said, you better get your butt down there. Said, they just got a C Company guy right there. I said, where? And they pointed, you know, where he was, like from here at the corner over there. And I started over and they said, no. Said a sniper had caught him right over the eye. things like that hurt you. But anyway. And Carroll, the squad leader, he'd been with the division all the time, I guess. And real nice guy. And he said if he lived to see his 21st birthday, he'd be all right. And on his 21st birthday, a shell hit a tree and just sprayed him. Things like that kind of get to you. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Absolutely don't be sorry, sir. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to sit down with me and for putting this on video. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.